what happens when you combine 1,100 young innovators from 117 countries with 69 brilliant mentors, a bunch of groundbreaking partners and supporters, and a global mission to reimagine food. You get a ship full of dreamers, doers, disruptors, and innovators to change the game. You get Moonshot pilots ready to launch their rockets and touch the lives of millions, if not billions, around the world. Because pirates, your future has changed and you decided to join the Moonshot Pirates. So hello and welcome to the 7 Moonshot Pirate teams. You have endured 4 weeks of intense preparation and proved to the online jury the impact, resilience, feasibility, and wow effects of your idea over 220 teams and the other 79 ideas submitted for voting. And I say congratulations. What a big achievement so far. You are already the winners. And hello and welcome to all the crew online and here. The key pillars of preparing these 7 rockets to Moonshot. The team of Moonshot Pirates, the partners, the jury, and of course the mentors. 69 business strategists, marketeers, UX and UI specialists, programmers, personal development advisors, and even food innovators have spent hundreds of hours tirelessly preparing the pirates for the challenges ahead. And the challenges in the food industry are no easy feat indeed. Feeding 10 billion people sustainably needs all the brilliant minds to work together and innovate on alternative proteins, making nutritious foods easily accessible and, very importantly, liked and loved by all. Exactly the ideas that I'm sure that our pirates of this ship are so eager to present to us today. And to spice up the motivation of the teams to do even better today and later in life, our supporter Conference on Wheels will take the overall winners, the one team, on a week's trip to Silicon Valley. There, the team will visit startups and established companies like Facebook and Apple. They will stop by the Stanford and Singularity universities. They will work on exponential technologies and in general experience the life in the hub of digital innovation of the world. To add some more, thanks to Givaudan, a special addition to the tour is a visit to Mr. Accelerator that helps startup companies to scale, to secure distribution, find partners, and acquire funding. And gosh, I wish I was on the winner's ship. What a truly life-changing prize. So this final ceremony of the Shape the Future of Food Challenge in collaboration with Givaudan, what's it all about? Let's invite one of the captains of the Moonshot Pirates ship itself. Marco, please tell us more. Join me in sharing a bit more about Moonshot Pirates that took off almost 7 years ago. And I know that you've been working very hard behind the scenes to make all of this possible, to bring all the great people and the partners and the winners together. So please tell us, why do you do what you do? And why is this important for you and really for every one of us?
Well, thank you, Odetta. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for hosting the session today. A very warm welcome to everyone. I'm very excited. This final pitching events of our Shape the Future challenges are always like a very, very special moment for me personally, for us as a team, but obviously also for the Pirates. So I'm super hyped to be here today, and I'm very much looking forward to all the pitches. Before we start, I would also say a big thank you. First of all, to our partners. You've already mentioned Givaudan. There's Oatly. There's the Liechtenstein Group. So big thank you to them, as well as Nikki and the Conference on Wheels, which is going to be hosting the winner's prize, the trip, as you just mentioned, and for Voices, Gabriela and Cormac, who did all the pitch training with our pirates for today's session. So big thank you to our partners. It would this program and many other programs would not be possible without having amazing partners on board. Also, big thank you to all the mentors. You said it already, 69 mentors from all around the world, founders, entrepreneurs, industry experts, work tirelessly with our pirates. So yeah, it's just amazing to have you on board. Whatever we do, mentors are always there and very excited to work with our pirates. And also big thank you to our team. We just had a meeting this earlier today. It's such a lovely team, lovely people, and an amazing, I don't know, group of young, excited, inspiring people that work together. And I'm very grateful and I feel honored to be part of this team. So thank you to everyone for making this happen. Now, to answer your question, why is this, why we do what we do, or why is this important? Well, look at the world today. The world today needs change makers. We need young impact leaders, not necessarily young, but we need impact leaders. We need those who want to make a difference, those who want to create change. And obviously for us, we start with young impact leaders. I believe you can't start early enough. And when you look at the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations, they've been established a couple of years ago. They said they want to achieve those goals by 2030. And today we have around 30 to 40 million impact entrepreneurs in this world. But the UN itself also said in order to reach those goals by 2030, which is 5 years from now, we need to quadruple the number of impact entrepreneurs in this world. This shows how important it is now, not only for young people, but also especially young people to get to work and start, building, start working on ideas, start working on solutions for problems in this world. And I feel this gives us plenty of why and reasons to do what we do. And I'm so happy about the number of pirates and the excitement and also the exceptional quality that we have here that young people provide us with. So that is the why behind Moonshot Pirates and the why behind a challenge like this one.
Thank you, Marco. We're definitely looking forward to hear from the winners or the teams, the finalists here today. And I think that you and the team are the best examples to all the pirates that dreaming big and aiming to change the world is actually available to everyone. So truly inspiring. But before you disappear behind the scenes, as someone who's taken part in quite a few of these challenges firsthand, what is your biggest wow in this specific challenge?
You're right. I think this is the 6th challenge that we're doing. First of all, I was this time very curious about the outcome of this challenge because the future of food it was a very niche topic. And I was like, wow, what's going to be happening there? And to be honest, I left speechless. When I saw, I was evaluating together with others the projects beforehand. When I saw the quality and I saw the ideas, it was just it was amazing. So there have been many wows, but to name one, I believe it was the overall quality, the general level of ideas and projects that we have this time compared to the previous challenges. I couldn't believe what I saw. So the quality is absolutely incredible. And maybe one last thought. I actually, like an hour ago, I received an email from Simon Sinek. I'm subscribed to one of his newsletters, and it said, "Without great people, even great ideas are useless." And that is maybe the other wow. It's not only the great ideas that we've seen here, not only the projects, but I've met a couple of people, especially now during the pitch training. These are, as I said, not just great ideas. There's really great people behind it. Those young people have so much potential, and I feel honored to be allowed to work with you guys. So there's a lot of wows to be honest.
And definitely very impressive wows. And these are just the first ones for today. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
Equally inspirational is Nikki, who is a serial entrepreneur, a global connector driven by a passion for making a meaningful impact. He's been training hundreds of TEDx speakers from Vienna to San Francisco and even Burning Man. And he's been connecting global leaders with innovators from across the globe. He's now creating transformative inspiration tours, conference on wheels. Surprise, surprise. Also, you heard about the first prize of this Moonshot Pirate. And Nikki is aiming to spark meaningful insights to help bring bold ideas into actionable change. Nikki, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And it's a huge privilege and honor being part of your journey. I have this beautiful life of being a constant student and observer of some of the most inspiring individuals in the world who are architects of the future, who shape different industries from technology to methodology to mindset, and this bringing this together as a beautiful ingredients for the recipe of innovation. I want to say that I do not have authority to talk about the future of food because I'm not a scientist and I don't work in food engineering. But I think that I can share what I observe as a student, as an observer of, you gave the numbers before, I curated 206 inspiration tours in Silicon Valley and other innovation hubs. I speaker coach 2,500 speakers from some of the most inspiring conferences in the world. And I'm always there listening. I'm always there making my notes, observing. And some of these observations I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes. And I call it a sober view on food innovation, because I think that despite the excitement of what's possible, there's also a reality that bounces back to all the good innovations that we've seen in the past 10 years. And we can agree, and this whole event, this whole challenge would not exist if that sentence would not be true. The current diet, the current way we feed ourselves is problematic. Let's put it that way. And we do know a few things. We know that meat production is critical. We slaughter 1 million cows per day. That's not a good thing for the environment, for everything. That there's a long list that goes down on what do we not agree with the way we produce our food today. We also know about the growing population. We're going to be 10 billion people, and 10 billion people are very likely going to be hungry. They're going to eat twice, 3 meals a day. And that already means that we need to change something fast, because when we agree to my opening sentence that our diet is problematic with 8 billion people, well, it's just going to be 2 billion times more problematic with 10 billion people. And then there is another fact that comes into the game, and that's that obesity is passing the baton to depression as a global disease by 2032, which is also only in a few years. And both are somehow related to what we're eating. So what's happening, or what has been happening in the past? And I'm sharing observations. And one of the huge inspiration in my own diet was Graham Hill, who introduced the weekday vegetarian 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, where he had this idea that we eat as a vegetarian from Monday to Friday and whatever we want to eat on the weekend. So we don't have to let go of the things we like so much, despite the fact that we shouldn't eat them. So he has this idea that if we would eat half of the amount of meat today, half of the world would be vegetarian. 3 years ago, I met Graham at a conference in Bombay, and I asked him, how is he doing with his weekday vegetarian? And he told me, well, I'm not so much on it anymore. Another story that one of our jury members in this event can share a lot more than me is the story of Impossible Foods. And Pat Brown, the innovator, the father of the idea of the Impossible Foods, the meat patty, the alt meat patty, passed on and said, okay, I don't think this is going to happen anytime too soon. Problems with regulations, problems with acceptance, many problems. And he passed on and sold the company. Megan Miller, who I met personally, PT Foods was a huge company in the game of insect flour, insect meat. And they had cookies, cricket cookies. Apparently, people didn't really want that, went out of business. Now my clicking went faster than my voice. And when you look into the numbers, and I just took India because India was historically the strongest country in being or representing vegetarians in the last 4 years, they moved from a third of the country to a fourth of the country, which is also a significant loss of convinced vegetarians. I don't know if you heard of Brian Johnson. There is a current Netflix documentary which I recommend watching. And I'm not going to talk about the idea of eating 100 supplements a day to maybe reduce your biological age by numbers that are significant in his particular case. I'm not talking about his story, but what actually thought was very interesting during the documentary is that your brain is not a good partner when it comes to making decisions that are good for you. So why is that? So what's happening? And one of the thoughts that I had when I did research for the trends, the numbers, to give you some more profound than opinion, is that I realized that bad news are all over the place and it's getting worse. Online Reputation says that a study highlighted that negative news stories outnumber positive ones by a ratio of 17-1. Mainstream media underscoring the prevalence of bad news bias. And Big Think made an analysis of 23 million headlines from 47 US media outlets between 2000 and 2019. And it revealed a 104% rise in headlines expressing anger, 150% in conveying fear, and 29 uptick in disgust and 54 growth in sadness. And this trend was consistent across media outlets, regardless of political orientation. So what does this mean? Why am I going there? When we hear so much of bad news, we trigger what is called the reptilian brain. And the reptilian brain is responsible for the 4 Fs. You might have heard of them before: fight, flight, feed, and when you like each other a lot. But I'm not going to go into this part. What I'm talking about is this one: feed. The reptilian brain triggered forces us to make food decisions that we might not make if we wouldn't be exposed to so much threatening information. And this food information basically means it should be fast, it should be cheap, and it should be on demand available, because we get what we can get without risking to invest too much, without risking not to get fed today. And that's basically just catering into the problematic situation that fast food is increasing and increasing. So we know what does not work. What does not work is telling people what they should not do, because pressure forces counter pressure. If I tell you that you shouldn't do this, despite all the numbers that I present to you, your response will be, you are not going to tell me what I shouldn't do. We are also not really good in making these alarm bells ringing. Be aware, there's something threatening coming. Also didn't really work. Or watch out. And even if we deliver facts, there is some mode that makes us switch to ignoring facts, disregarding what seems to be profound information, and making our choices led by the reptilian brain. Remember, fast, quick, cheap, available. What might work, though, is let's outsmart the reptilian brain. We just learned from Brian Johnson that the brain is not a good partner. So we have to outsmart this brain. And we can outsmart this by making it fun. For example, when we love snacking, then we need good snacking variations. So we do the same thing, but it's just more fun. And it should be easy, because we know we should avoid sugar and our sugar production, I'm not even going there, is insane. So how can we get there if we have a replacement of sugar with the same taste and high nutrition and the same taste? And it should be accessible. It should be something that everyone can do without slaughtering the cows, that we said, as I mentioned before. For example, new sources for proteins, something that's better than cheap meat. What intrigued me, what I thought was really interesting, is that we're in a time where technology for the first time actually can save a job where we thought it's threatening a job, and that's farming. CES just happened in Las Vegas, the Consumer Electronics Show, the world's probably biggest event on innovation. And a huge part on innovation is smart farming. And what I learned from the people there, from the companies there, is that farming has a problem that the kids don't want to take the job of their parents, because generally kids want to do things smarter than their parents. But with an industry that hasn't changed over decades, there's nothing to do smarter than your parents before. It's basically old knowledge that you keep alive. But now with smart farming, where you can have a whole command control and everything works with drones and autonomous tractors and whatnot, the kids can actually be smarter than their parents and they want to go back on the farm. And they see trends that farming is becoming attractive again. So in a nutshell, a few thoughts, 3 thoughts. One, food innovation is not led by argument. I told you we tried that, did not work. I think trends are artificial peaks. If something is a trend, you know, after the trend follows a valley. People stop doing it. We just see this in the numbers when the trend being a vegan, a vegetarian was a trend. After the trend, less people are doing this. So we have to do something great, and maybe we're lucky and people will not realize. And I think that would be a good idea, a good driver for food innovation. That said, thank you so much for listening to me, and go Pirates.
Thank you, Nikki. I'm sure that all the pirates here would really love to discuss with you in more detail about our problematic diets and how our brain take part in it. But I have a question for you around the Silicon Valley tours, because one team will actually have that chance to do it in person with you during the trip. Can you share an example of an innovative idea sparked during your tours previously?
So that's a good question, because that's the question that people want to have. It's like, where is this great big thing that I haven't seen that the world's going to see in 10 years? And I know it's very tempting to have this, but I think what's even more tempting is, you know, when you go to the restaurant, you want to know the recipe, but what's even better than that is you want to know how to cook, because then you can do your own things. And what you get from this program, and that's what people is surprising. I usually have CXO, so tier 1, president, board, CEO, CFO, CTO, CIO from organizations coming to the program. And they are quite aware of what's happening in the future. So Silicon Valley operates 10 years ahead of the future. So that basically means everything that you can buy today is 10 years old. And it's exciting to see what is the thing that we're going to buy in 10 years. But what we want to see is the anatomy of innovation. What we want to see is, how do I click in a way that when I come home, that I can create things that the world hasn't seen, and that will be deployed in whatever time, because the time frame doesn't really matter so much. And that's the strength of this experience. So the team that will come to me will have 4 to 5 conversations per day with these people who are shaping the next idea, the next trend, or the next path of a certain industries. And of course, there's a focus on food innovation. And when they go home, they will realize, okay, there are a few switches that we need to twist, and then we can actually do this there, because you cannot carry Silicon Valley throughout the world. It's a very special place, but it's there. And you want to go home and you want to make different decisions and not just post something on your Instagram feed. So answer, but no answer. What they come home with is understanding the anatomy of innovation way more than what is the next big thing.
And best of luck on that journey. So to get to that final treasure, we have some mission critical information. The rules of the Moonshot Pirate Pitch is 3-minute pitch for the pirates to convey their idea to the winners, followed by 3 minutes Q&A for the jury to ask the questions. And a reminder that in the true innovators and adventurers spirit, the 7 finalist pitches will be evaluated on no ordinary criteria. The jury is looking for impact, how the idea will impact the society, how many people it will affect, and what the overall impact on people it will have. It's also looking for radicality of the project. How radical is the project? Where is it going to be implemented and at what scale? Equally important is feasibility. Is this idea realistic, first of all, technically, and also in terms of finances and knowledge of the team and the team's ability to get to where it needs to be to implement the idea? Finally, it's the wow effects. What is that secret sauce in your ingredient in your secret sauce that will put the smile on people's face and help you to stand out from the crowd? So today we have a mighty crew of judges whose collective wisdom will send one team to Silicon Valley. Please meet our change makers, dreamers, and doers of the judges themselves. Hello, Sara Diaz from Spain. Sara is a culinary artist and a plant-based marketing innovation wizard who lives her passion for cooking and consumer understanding every day at Givaudan. Welcome, Sara. A pleasure to have you here. Our second juror is Jakob Lindblad from Sweden. Jakob is a people-focused innovator who turns bold, unorthodox ideas into real change-driving impact solution at Oatly's innovation collaborations within Oatly and outside. His superpower is turning plans into impactful outcomes. Welcome, Jacob. Very nice to have you here. Up next, we have Craig Davis from the US. Craig is the founder of Clean Green Fast and a former leader of Tesla Motors, Impossible Foods, and BMW. He is a visionary in sustainable innovation, pushing the boundaries across clean mobility and climate action. Welcome, Craig. And last, but definitely not least, Madeline Petro from the US. Madeline is a serial entrepreneur, public speaker, and investor driving impactful change by prioritizing UN Sustainable Development Goals, both in her own impact ventures like Mammoc and GreenSpark, and through investments at Q Advisors, where she's currently residing. So with their combined brilliance, these four trailblazers of jury unite to form a dynamic crew ready to evaluate pitches with sharp insight and a spirit of adventure. So without further ado, I think it's time to meet the first pirate team. Welcome, team number one. And let me introduce you like this. Despite animal proteins driving major environmental issues, the adoption of sustainable alternatives to protein is hindered. Team Sustenance, crewed by, and I'm really sorry about pronouncing some names, my own surname is not the easiest to pronounce, Lachelle, Khwani, and Mariam, all the way from South Africa, India, and Saudi Arabia, has a solution to share with us. Team, if you're ready, your time starts now, and I will clock you out.
Alternative proteins are everywhere. At Sustenance, we're not just going to create more. We're solving the biggest challenge, making alternative proteins mainstream. Hi, I'm Mariam Imran from Saudi Arabia, and along with Shelly and Janvi, our international team is united by one goal, to turn every meal into one that's made from proteins that's not just good for you, but also good for the planet. Allow me to introduce Solein. Solar Foods, the company behind Solein, found a way to create a tasteless powder made from air, water, and renewable energy. So like every other alternative protein, Solein is entirely land and climate independent. But here's the question. If it's so great, why isn't it on everyone's plate yet? The food industry is built on three key factors, and while Solein already checks the boxes for cost and taste, its biggest hurdle is integration into daily life. You can't just eat this powder as it is. It needs to be transformed into products people recognize and want to eat, which requires creating consumer-ready products, lowering cost, building logistics, and on top of that, educating the public. That's why since Solar Foods started in 2023, it has focused on B2B to scale quickly without these hurdles. But that's where Sustenance steps in. We're bridging the gap between B2B and B2C to accelerate Solein's adoption. And here's how. Just like Oatly started by partnering with coffee shops to build brand awareness, we're following this proven blueprint by starting with a fast food chain. It's where habits are formed and change happens the fastest. It's accessible, convenient, and reaches millions daily. Next, we want to create hype through influencers and Gen Z marketing, making Solein a recognizable choice. And then scaling smartly, because Solein is just the beginning. We aren't just a fast food chain. The alternative protein market is booming with incredible innovations emerging every single day. And most of these companies excel in the science and research and development part, but they struggle with marketing and consumer adoption. That's where Sustenance steps in. We're the middle layer, the platform that takes these incredible proteins and delivers them to consumers in form of meals they love with collaboration with food scientists and expert chefs. Our impact is undeniable. Solein not only uses 99% less water, 95% less land, and emits 90% less greenhouse gases than traditional proteins. This aligns perfectly with our consumer demand. 73% of Gen Z consumers are already willing to pay more for sustainable products, making them an ideal audience to drive this shift. And the market opportunity, massive. The global fast food market is worth $1 trillion, and California's alone represents $5 billion. This means in just 1 year, just 1% market share could generate $50 million in revenue. And after talking to experts from diverse fields with food science, marketing, and sustainability, one thing is clear. Sustenance will transform alternative proteins from possibility to inevitability, redefining the way we eat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. Excellent timekeeping. And I would like to welcome all the jurors with me to stage for a Q&A session. Can I see the jurors, please, by the raise of hands? Who has a question? Greg and Madeline then.
Very, very nice to hear this idea. Thank you for bringing it to us. And good to hear about Solein and your step to bring it to everyone. So just tell me, what does it taste like in one of your favorite dishes?
If Janvi would like to take this question.
So Solein is basically a very tasteless powder, and it can be easily integrated into any meal. For example, Solein has already tried it out within an ice cream that has not been publicly released, but that's what we're trying to do.
Thanks. So it can be integrated in any kind of food that we already eat, and it replaces something, or since it doesn't have a taste, where do you get the taste?
So it is added into pre-made meals, and it will just add on your protein content. However, the taste will remain exactly same to as you would have it normally.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a protein additive. Yeah, thank you.
I think Jakob is very anxious and then to ask a question, and Madeline.
I actually think Madeline was ahead of me, so.
I was going to ask about taste. That's the question on everyone's mind. So thanks, Craig, for covering that. But I'm also, thank you so much for the pitch. Super interesting, and I love your energy. My question is, if you could dig a little bit deeper into why fast food is your first market entry and how you would envision Solein being incorporated into some of the products that people already know and buy at those fast food retailers. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'll take this one. So it's quite funny. We've got like a very detailed pilot program and everything, but obviously a 3-minute presentation, it's quite hard to convey how much we've thought this through. So we're trying to look for where can people afford this product, because it's not going to be the most, like price-wise, it's not going to be the cheapest thing on the markets. And we're also going to we're trying to look for a market where people are conscious about eco-friendly products. So we landed on looking at America and especially California. And we started looking at, okay, what are consumer habits? And the biggest thing that we found is that there's this huge market in fast food industry, and no one has actually tried to make it sustainable yet. So even referencing Nikki's pitch of sustainable convenience and trying to couple those two together. So the way we thought about starting it was doing at least in the pilot program, is doing food trucks and pop-up restaurants. But how the actual thing will work once it's developed over, I think about during the third phase, it would be an actual fast food restaurant that you could go to, like something like McDonald's.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, the time runs way too fast for our liking here. I thank Team Sustenance and jury for the questions. Next time, maybe shorter questions and answers. Good learning. But we're on to the second team. Team NextGen Nutrition from Nigeria, Romania, Turkey, and Uzbekistan, who is tackling the challenge of lack of affordable, nutrient-rich food for all. Welcome again. I'm really sorry about the names. Amarachukwu, Eliza, Yerza, and Umarbek.
Yeah.
Is the team ready to start the challenge? Let me know when, and I will take the time.
Yes,
We're next.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're NextGen Nutrition, and we're here to tell you a story. In Nigeria, Evelyn is raising 5 children alone after losing her husband. The little money she has barely stretches to feed her family, and what she can afford isn't good for her or the planet. This isn't just a story. According to the World Economic Forum, by 2050, there will be 14.5 million deaths and $12.5 trillion in economic losses worldwide attributed to human-caused climate change. And food production produces 33% of greenhouse gases. Beyond those numbers are broken families and broken dreams. Our food system is broken, harming both us and the earth. There's human losses and economic losses. Everything is starting to hurt. The problem lies in the food system itself. Food production prioritizes profit over people and the planet. The crops we grow and the methods we use aren't just inefficient, they're harmful. Food is expensive to produce, unsustainable to grow, and often inaccessible to people who need it the most. We believe we can change this. Our solution is an AI that transforms the way food is grown, produced, and distributed. This AI will be able to predict genetic modifications for resilient, nutrient-dense seeds optimized for different regions and climates, create models for nutritionally optimized, sustainable food products, and map out the supply chain, showing the most efficient production methods for food creation while prioritizing affordability and sustainability. How? Our initial funding will be gained from crowdfunding and angel investors, such as Yield Lab Institute, and will focus our MVP in Nigeria. We'll utilize open source datasets such as PlantClean, collaboration from universities such as the University of Lagos, and help from industry professionals to build the AI. After a successful pilot program and extra funding is acquired, we'll incorporate more regions and eventually scale it globally. The core of our solution is one guiding principle: affordability and sustainability for everyone. We are not just revolutionizing the food system, we are building a future where no one has to choose between feeding their family and protecting the planet. We are NextGen Nutrition. I'm Marchi from Nigeria.
Umarbek from Uzbekistan.
I am Eliza from Romania.
And I'm Yerjan from Kazakhstan.
We are affordable, innovative, and transformative. And we believe we can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Even more excellent timing and a very clear pitch. I hope the jurors already have their questions. Jacob, please.
Love the pitch. I love all the enthusiasm. I'm so happy to hear everything. So I've worked in plant breeding before, so this is close to my heart. And I know the timeline it takes. So the MVP, what do you want the MVP to show you? So what does a successful MVP look like for you? Because, yeah, I'll end there. What does that look like?
A successful MVP will show the how to produce, will show seeds for a climate in Nigeria. Will show optimized seeds for climate in Nigeria. That's what just one seed that we'll focus on, and how we'll produce it and how we'll distribute it.
Sarah, I think you had a question.
Yeah, I wanted to understand a bit. Thank you so much for the pitch. Thank you so much, team, for putting together this idea. I wanted to ask you, who do you see the primary user of this app, right? So who would be using this app, and what would be the deliverable? Is something that they use in their smartphones? Is something integrated as part of the fields or the production machines? Who is the target audience for such an interesting app?
Hello, I am Eliza, and I will handle this question. So the people using this app will be the farmers, agricultural companies, and so on. They will use our AI, which will be licensed, in order to make their crop activities, agricultural activities more efficient. For example, we will implement our AI into their systems, whether they are using smart fertilizer spreaders or smart watering systems, in order to make it more efficient and less harming to the planet. Or we have many different solutions for them to integrate their AI, our AI, into their daily operations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, jurors, for the great questions. And thanks, NextGen team, for your pitch. Up next, we will hear from the third team. So the world's increasing food demand, coupled with water scarcity and the current unsustainable farming practices, of course, cause a lot of damage to our environment and high emissions. So let's hear how Team Alvea from Austria is solving this, represented by Oscar, Emil, Sophie, Elana, and Lana. Welcome, Team Alvea. Whenever you're ready, let me know, and I click the magic button for you to start. I'll see that you share the screen. Perfect. Can we hear from Team Alvea now?
Yes. When I was 5 years old, my father was diagnosed with cancer. The doctors told us that he had just 2 weeks left to live. Against all odds, he fought through those 2 weeks and ended up living 2 years longer. It wasn't just the medication that made a difference. It was also the power of good nutrition. Therefore, I always had a strong interest in providing all people with the opportunity to access this good nutrition. Then, a few months ago, in the biolab, something incredible happened. We were producing biodiesel from algae, but as we observed those tiny microorganisms grow, we asked ourselves a simple question: what else could algae do? Agriculture today consumes about 70% of the world's freshwater, and with over 1 billion more mouths to feed by 2050, the challenges we face are overwhelming. But while freshwater is getting scarcer, there's a resource we have barely touched: saltwater. So we asked, what if we could unlock that potential? Use saltwater for food production. We found a way. Using microalgae, which thrives in saltwater, we have optimized growth conditions. So it's not just algae, it's a super ingredient. Rich in protein and starch, we have created a flour that can do it all: bake bread, craft pizza, and cook up noodles. So how does it work? We grow algae in saltwater under optimized conditions. Once ready, we filter it from the water and let the sun do its job by drying the algae. Then, through an innovative process, we apply heat to further refine it into flour, concentrating the starch. So you might ask yourself, what makes us different? First, we need zero freshwater to produce food, not a single drop. But it doesn't stop there. Our product contains essential nutrients like proteins, omega-3s, and vitamins like B12, the kinds you normally only find in meat products. Behind this idea is a team of passionate innovators, chemical engineers who don't just think big, they act. And with this team, the impossible becomes achievable. In the next 6 months, we are laser focused on transforming our prototype into a finished product. This is about listening to our customers, refining our offering, and launching in the DACH region. From there, the world is next. This is not just any product, it's a vision where saltwater nourishes life, where algae is not just an ingredient, but a movement, a new reality. What if we could change the way the world eats? Together, we will. Thank you.
The new reality from Team Alvea. Do I see any jury? Madeline, please, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you so much for the powerful pitch. Who is your market? Are you going to be a B2B ingredient supplier, or are you a B2C brand developer that's going to be creating products? Can you tell us a little bit about that? And thank you very much.
So thank you for your question. And our primary consumer segments will be B2C. So it's our goal to like build a premium nutrition brand that focuses on health conscious individuals and eco-conscious consumers. But we also plan to market to go into partnerships with B2B partners, such as special retailers or specialty food stores.
Jakob, do you have a question or you're just unmuted?
No, I have many questions. I've unmuted just to be ready. So I met a couple of algae companies in my days. Algae is a wonderful thing. So what kind of food product or food stuff or food are you looking at to explore the first? Because algae has a quite significant taste. So how do you perceive that?
Well, we are going to use our algae in like bread noodles, like where we use normal flour. But we are trying to, we will extract the nutrients from the algae, leaving behind most of the bad tasting and bad smelling stuff that's in there. And then we will add like fragrances or like taste to make everything rounded up a good tasting product.
So you want to
Givaudan can help you on that. Sorry, Jakob, go on.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, so you want to make a flour like some people do, they isolate some of the nutrients and they keep those, but you want to keep everything in one flour and then use that flour for different kind of food products. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. We believe we shouldn't extract only one specific thing and then sell this one, because we won't reach as many people. And with flour, we can reach everyone, I believe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, any comments from you? Final quick question.
No, I was also going to ask about taste, if they have considered the aftertaste and the off notes from algae, but I guess there is some work to be done there.
Thank you so much, team. Thank you, jurors. In that case, we are moving on to the fourth team, all the way from South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, and China. This is Team Kula, tackling the rising unaffordability of animal protein in African nations. Welcome, Abigail, Ayanuflu, Temipote, Ashley, Jeremy, and Murimi. The floor is yours. Whenever you're ready, we will start the timer. Please.
The past 3 years, it now costs 3 times as much to provide the same amount of protein, and this is for 3 serious reasons. Protein deficiency is ever increasing, high food waste has been skyrocketing, and cultures are hesitant to just accepting change. Here's a look at the typical African diet, with just a packed with mostly 73% being carbs and a meager 9% going towards protein. But here's what we're producing. We're producing protein cubes made from wasted rice bran, where each cube is packed with 7 grams of protein, and a serving can produce up to 30% of an individual's daily needs. Our cubes are versatile, meaning it can be used on both cooked and uncooked food. So whether it's on the go or in your kitchen, Kula cubes fit into a global diet.
And this is how we're getting out that protein. So firstly, once we get the wasted rice bran, we extract rice bran oil, which can be sold to subsidize the cost of making the cubes. And then after they go through a washing process and enzymes are added to carry out the protein extraction process, after which they go through centrifugation to give us a protein concentrate that will then be mixed with spices to create our Kula cubes. But why have we chosen to use enzymes? Well, firstly, they allow us to obtain more protein than any other process, whilst causing significantly less pollution due to relying much less on the harmful chemicals used in processes like alkali hydrolysis. They also make our system much more robust, as we can change out the food waste and still get out our protein concentrate simply by changing enzymes. And this is a machinery that's going to allow us to do it. So first we have the grinder to increase the surface area, the mechanical press to extract our rice bran oil, and then the enzyme reaction vessel, which will contain enzymes modified by a custom air model to work faster at lower temperatures, allowing us to get Kula cubes for cheaper.
So, how does Kula fit into a malnourished world? From interviews with groups at the front lines of agriculture and emergency food relief in Kenya, we found that Kula's model fits perfectly to the need for transportability, accessibility, and resilience through light, dry, and compact packaging, a cheap production process and a more affordable product, and a small change with drastic results, prioritizing consumer preferences through easy meal integration and familiar tastes. And a future with Kula offers scalability, climate consideration and resilience, and nutrition for all, using rice bran and widely accessible ingredients, and a modifiable process to allow for other forms of food waste to supply the demand regardless of geographic limitations. And a modifiable protein source doubles as a strong base against the effects of climate change, so quality nutrition can be provided in spite of changing crop availability. And because nutrition necessity should not affect its enjoyment, an easily modifiable flavor base can tend to the different consumer preferences, while standing as a more nutritional beneficial product in comparison to competitors. So in a world facing ever more damage from climate change, malnutrition, and we propose Kula, a cube focused on changing the future of food, one cube at a time.
Thank you, team. Thank you for a great pitch. Do we have any questions from jury? Jakob, I also see that you have unmuted. Madeline next. Craig, did you raise your hand as well? Okay, so Jakob, Madeline, and then Craig.
But I mean, let's Madeline and Craig, because otherwise I do all the talking. So
ladies first.
Okay, Madeline, the floor is yours.
Really quickly, thank you so much. Very, very cool concept. What can you tell me if I wanted to make dinner and get a flavor and protein boost? How many cubes would I be looking to use? What's the use case of it in the kitchen? And thank you.
Okay, so basically what our cube is doing is something very innovative. So we have bouillon cubes that we use already in our dish, and we're looking about 2 to 3 cubes to give you at least 25 to 30% of your recommended daily need. Like we said, each cube is packed with about 7 to 8 grams of protein. So that will also add protein and flavor to your meal, to your dish.
Craig, that's over to you.
I saw something I liked. You said umami. So where do you get the umami taste? I don't know about rice bran and where that would come from. Is that the natural taste from rice bran? First question. Second question, where do you get the rice bran from?
With where we'll get the rice bran from, for our pilot project, we plan to be based in Kenya. And Kenya is one of the leading producers of rice. So we plan to partner up with rice mills because they usually discard the product rice bran, so we can partner up with them and get it at a cheaper price. But about the flavoring and the umami flavor, we have a whole recipe for this thing. So we do have things like salt. This is xanath, gum, and basic raw materials like that will increase the flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you don't mind me asking, we made a small prototype with Murimi as well. And so basically, we're starting with a very simple spice blend, and then as we scale to different regions, we change that spice blend depending on the region to adapt to what they like in that particular country as well.
Yeah, so we basically used a basic alkali hydrolysis to actually extract the protein, and I've had to mix in a few spices that we had I brought from back home, and this was the starting product, and this is the ending product. We have a cube.
Jakob, I think we have time for one more question.
Wonderful. So this would be like a Maggie cube, right? Those are very popular. Yes. Cool. So just that I know. I have one little issue, that's freeze drying. It's quite expensive. So what would you say would be like the cost cap for a cube like this to be available for families? You know?
Okay, so firstly, we do realize the expense of our processes, and to subsidize them, we're first choosing the rice bran oil to help subsidize the cost of that. And then we're also planning on licensing out the software we're using to modify the enzymes to provide additional revenue streams that will allow us to be able to counter the expensiveness of processes such as centrifugation. And as for the freeze drying, we are also working on developing our own alternative methods to be able to get the same protein concentrate but for cheaper prices. But currently for the cubes, we're currently aiming to get as close to the prices of Maggi we're currently aiming to either match or get as close to the price of Maggi as possible to assure that our customer base can still afford and enjoy Kula cubes.
Thank you very much, Team Kula and jury, for the questions. This is running way too quick for me, but we already have the fifth team coming up on stage. Team in the Works from Singapore thinks about the food for 10 billion people, 3 generations ahead, after conventional livestock and crop farming is obsolete. Welcome in the Works crew, Nathan, Deirdre, Li Juan, and Clara. The stage is yours. I still see Team Kula on the screen, so just looking forward for In the Works to take over. Feel free to share your screen if you have a presentation. If you don't have a presentation.
Odetta, I believe there's a change. We have NutriNova Nexus next. Sorry about that.
I am sorry about that. This is also very exciting to welcome Stella, Priscilla, Jessica, Eusebe, Adeline, and Isabella, who are representing Team NutriNova Nexus from Ghana, Nigeria, Malawi, Rwanda, and Canada, who are solving how millions lack access to affordable nutritious proteins across the world. Team NutriNova Nexus, please, the stage is yours. Whenever you're ready, share your screen and we will start the timer. I see Priscilla talking, but no screen. Okay, whenever you're ready. David, I also see you talking, but I don't hear you. Do you mind unmuting yourself?
I'm going to start the pitch now.
There we go. Thank you.
Let's take a moment to imagine a world where 1 in 9 persons suffer from the silent pain of hunger and malnutrition. 150 million children worldwide, their growth stunted, their future uncertain. Protein deficiency affects millions globally, especially in Africa, where 300 million people cannot afford meat, the most common protein source. Clearly, we need a sustainable alternative. Meet the Bambara granite. Adds up to 25% protein. It's a nutrient-dense, drought-resilient superfood that has been overlooked for far too long. Despite its potential, less than 1% of legume-based products utilize this powerhouse. Its eco-friendly and, most importantly, accessible, unique qualities position it to disrupt the ultimate industry. With such incredible potential, we have developed Bambara-based products crafted for busy, health-conscious consumers. Our balm nuts, snack bars, and beverages rich in protein are suitable for all ages. These products cater to modern-day lifestyle, allowing people to snack healthy while meeting their daily protein needs. Here is a plan that takes balm nuts from urban markets to global expansion. First, we launched the balm nut snacks and beverage in the urban market, targeting the Gen Zs. Then, as the product continues to grow, we introduced balm nut in powdered form, giving options like plant-based protein powders and gluten-free flours. Finally, we dive into the export market and build partnership with international food distributors. You might be wondering, is there a market for balm nut? Oh yes, the global market for plant-based protein is projected to reach 7 billion in Europe and 1.1 billion in the Middle East and Africa by 2028. Snacks and beverages accounting for 45% of functional food sales worldwide, and the 7 billion gluten-free market is growing rapidly. Our opportunities are immense, and Bambara is ready to make an impact. Our visible revenue model connects us to the customers through direct B2C sales with Gen Zs, B2B, where we build partnership. And currently, we've partnered with Agrodemy, an award-winning agri-tech company, helping us to create product awareness and farmers connection. Then we license with beverage manufacturers and distribute to e-commerce platforms. This isn't just about business, it's about transforming lives, including our families and the planet. Before balm nuts, issues spanning from low protein intake, expensive protein sources, and reliance on sustainable meat production were the norm. But with Bambara, we're creating a future where there's healthier population, improved farming system, and easier access to protein as a reality, proving that better nutrition can coexist with sustainability. Meet our team of 6, spanning 5 countries. We're diverse, but we share one goal: to nurture people and nurture the planet. We are bridging the protein deficiency gap with the underutilized superfood Bambara. Join us working towards a healthier, more sustainable world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, team, for a great pitch. Do I see a forest of hands from the jury? Jacob, Sarah after.
Okay, so I start. So super exciting. I'm very excited about legumes turned into drinks. That's always something that I know one or two things about. But wondering about your market. So did you intend to sell it to Europe, or do you want to stay within Africa? Because I know that the native region for Bambara is like West Africa, right? Or Nigeria, Ghana, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that your market, or is Europe your market?
So the market we're starting with is in Africa because it's easy for us to source the products, connect with farmers, and we're targeting the Gen Zs in Africa, majorly the children. So we have the population, we have the number of people that we're going to serve it to. So basically Africa. Then after that, we export to international markets. And speaking of drinks, I have one here with me. If you can see, I don't think you can see it, but I have one here.
I'm going to let Sarah ask questions, but then you can come back to me, Odetta, if there's silence, because I have questions.
Definitely.
I wanted to ask a bit about the profile of this legume. I don't know if it has. I mean, we talked about algae with a strong aftertaste. I don't know if you know already the flavor direction, the off notes that it has, and if you have any plan on how to make it more pleasant for consumption.
Okay, so yeah, Bambara, as we have it, we have tasted it. It has a sweet, nutty taste. So you might not feel the taste like any taste different. So we are using dates and we are adding in flavors like vanilla and chocolates to max it. So that's what we have been able to do. The one I have here with me is vanilla and dates with me. I have a background picture. You can't really see my drink, but this is it. So it's vanilla and dates in it. So it maxes the it masks the Bambara's flavor, and it tastes really like nice and like a good beverage.
Madeline, over to you.
I can get a glimpse of the drink. I want to try it. Thank you so much for your pitch. I love nuts. I love legumes. And thank you for asking about the flavor profile. Could you tell us a bit more about the health profile and the resource? Like some nuts are more water thirsty, some nuts have a higher fat content. Where does this fall on kind of the health for the person and the planet? Thank you.
Health profile, I don't know if I'm see, but the Bambara is nutrient dense. That means it has vitamin, fiber, it has magnesium, carbohydrate, and protein. But most importantly, the reason why Bambara 19 to 25% of protein, and the carbs is high, like 65% and all of that. But it's we call it the complete food because it has a lot of nutrients in just one grain of it, and it will dilute my drink to be able to take it.
Thank you, Priscilla, and thank you, team, for a great presentation. I see a lot of jurors wanting to taste already. So up next, I think we have the team in the works who are now ready to present. Just as a reminder, it's a team from Singapore who is reimagining food for 10 billion people. Then the traditional livestock and crop farming are obsolete. So once again, Nathan, Deirdre, Li-Huan, and Clara, the floor is yours, and we're looking forward to hear from you. Would you like to share your pitch? Or are you, okay, sharing the screen? Great.
All right, just to check, can you see my screen?
We can see the Shape the Future Challenge, which is the banner of this event, but I hope that it's your screen as well.
Yes,
Great.
it is our opening title. All right, thank you very much. All right, do let me know when you will start the timer.
Yeah, ready now.
Okay. In 2023, droughts in Spain and Italy halved olive oil production, sending prices soaring. In India, erratic monsoons destroyed rice fields, endangering the staple for over $1 billion. In the US, heat waves wiped out crops, leaving shelves empty. Remember Interstellar? Just like in a movie, real-life crops are being wiped out, not by fiction, but by diseases fueled by global warming, a crisis we created. Global warming is devastating food production in ways we can no longer ignore. 800 million people starve today, and 2 billion people by 2070. This future is unfolding now. This crisis is personal. So we come together, a group of product designers, Didier, Clara, Li Xuan, and myself, Nathan, committed to nourish, preserve, and secure food for tomorrow. We
I
plan
let Craig
45
Matthews
years.
in just to...
Sorry? We plan 45 years ahead with Footprint to provide for 3 generations ahead, up to Generation Delta. We are designing for the health-conscious, sustainability advocates, food enthusiasts, high-income individuals, and mid to low-income individuals. Here's a glimpse of how Footprint works. We combine flavor compounds and freeze-dried food with stable nutrients stored in replaceable Nutri-Pods. These are extruded into a nutrient-rich paste and printed into full meals or ingredients for you to cook with. Key features include a precision nozzle for accurate texture infills and an induction cooker built plate for energy-efficient post-sprint cooking. You can choose to cook yourself or let Footprint handle the cooking for you. Together with the Footprint app, track and monitor your health metrics and progress, view tailored recipes, customize your meals by shape, content, and texture, and start prints from the comfort of your phone. Elevate flavors, tailor the shape to your cooking style, perfect textures, and choose what's best for your body, all in one ultimate app. Footprint is a game changer in the $8 trillion global food market. Our business to customer and business to business model taps into the growing food market, projected to expand by a compound annual growth rate of 7% by 2073. Footprint reduces global food waste by 8 million tons annually, saving $10 billion annually, and cutting healthcare costs by $35 billion annually. Join us in rewriting the story of food, one meal, one innovation, and one partnership at a time. Together, we can secure a healthier, more sustainable world for generations to come. The future of food, it's Footprint. We've come to the end of the presentation. I'd like to hand it over to the jury for any questions they may have.
Thank you, Nathan. And I have to compliment your voice. I think you can definitely be a voiceover on videos. Perfectly well executed tone of voice. Jurors,
Thank you very much.
Questions for the team in the works. Madeline?
Yeah, I can agree. Great voice, great pitch. Thank you very much. Super cool idea. It sounds like something in a sci-fi movie of the future. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about your route to market? How do you envision getting your product out there and into the hands of users? Thank you.
All right, I'll take the question. So we are looking at a at the global market adoption rate, and we want to see how different countries, maybe different continents even, especially in Asia and Americas, we do want to lower the price, lower the production cost and the cost per printer for this. We do want to introduce this product to countries that are in need of food production. We see this as an inevitable technology. In the future, crops and livestock will no longer be sufficient. So we do want to keep the cost down, and we are hoping that China could help us with market adoption for sure.
Thank you. Craig is up next.
Yeah, you just touched on it. Thank you very much. You just touched on it, cost. So what would this cost for me and my family of 4 to have a meal a day together out of this machine?
Well, as you know, the average 3D printer right now costs about $300 to $400. And right now it's 2025. If you were to create this right now, it would be about $2,000 to $3,000. But we are hoping by 2070, it will have lowered to around $500.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sarah has the final question.
I mean, I go back to the flavors piece. So you mentioned that flavor is one of the key elements that goes into the machine. Which type of flavors would you have? Because if you want to create such a broad scope of ingredients, or what type of flavors do you add?
Clara would take this question. Clara, you're muted.
Still muted.
So, we work with like food scientists to develop concentrated flavor profiles that can replicate the authentic taste of traditional dishes. So these compounds are precisely controlled during the printing and cooking process, which ensures that every bite captures the essence of the original meal, such as our basic flavors like sweet, salty, umami, bitter, and so on. So all these robust like spices would then be added in the actual cooking process, which will in turn create a more customized balance in our food.
Thank you very much. Thank you for a great pitch and for great questions. And our ship is really fast approaching its final destination. We have a team from Indonesia, Team Valencia, will present how they tackle two major challenges, the proteins and also excessive sugar. So let's welcome Vanessa, Vincia, and Jocelyn. The floor is yours, and whenever you're ready to share your screen, please feel free to do so.
Okay.
Great, it's
Just to make
coming up.
sure, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see your
Okay.
screen.
Can Vanessa help us with presenting?
Okay, so hello everyone, we're Team Valencia, and today we're going to talk about change. Change is a big word. Everyone talks about it, especially when it comes to sustainability. But let's be honest, real change is hard. Why? Because change is not always convenient. Change is most of the times costly, some other times inaccessible, and even unappealing. And that's the first problem we're trying to solve, inconvenience and lack of access to change. At the same time, change needs to happen soon because one of the most emerging industry right now, the traditional protein industry for sources like meat, fish, and dairy are anything but sustainable, as shown in the data here. The impact will only get worse. And finally, here's a very unexpected twist to the conversation, sugar. Today, 422 million people globally live with diabetes. Overconsumption of sugar is costing individuals their health and quality of life. And that is why we want to introduce a win-win solution that tackles all these problems. We're creating easy access towards sustainability while at the same time improving humans' lives.
We came up with a solution that is very close, very familiar to you, and can be used in your everyday meal, like sugar, except it's protein. Sweet protein to be exact. Sweet protein is naturally found in these berries. It is incredibly sweet, up to 3,000 times sweeter than sugar. However, they're extremely rare and hard to cultivate, which is why here in Sweeter Side, we resort to microbial fermentation. With AI-driven computational protein design, we replicate the DNA of the sweet protein found in natural berries and insert it into microbes like yeast. These microbes are fed sustainable nutrients, such as agricultural byproducts, and during fermentation, they produce the sweet protein. After extraction and purification, we're left with a protein that tastes just like sugar, but contains zero sugar. This method is sustainable, precise, and highly efficient. This is how Sweeter Side will shape the future of food. It's better for you, your health, and it's sustainable. And the best part is, transitioning to sweet protein is easy. Just swap it for sugar in your everyday meals, from baked goods to even your daily coffee.
We believe this will change the lives of many people. If you're someone who wants to make healthier choices, if you're environmentally aware, or even if you're a protein and sugar consumer, if you're one of these, you are our target consumer. And trust me, you'd love to try our product. And this is how we reach out to you. With our B2B channel, you'll find our products at your local coffee shop, where you can replace sugar in your coffee with sweet protein. We're also partnering with bakeries, drink stalls, and manufacturers, so you'll always have the option to choose Sweeter Side instead of sugar. Or you can also buy Sweeter Side directly at supermarkets, fitness centers, and online platforms. Imagine a world where enjoying the sweetness in your meals is healthy and sustainable. This is what happens when you replace 20% of sugar consumption with sweet protein, a massive change towards the global health and the environment. And the change is easy. Just swap your sugar with our sweet protein in your everyday meals, so that the next time someone asks, what do you put in your coffee? You can say, it's not sugar, it's protein. Thank you for listening.
and thank you for presenting Team Valencia. Now over to jury. Who has some questions for Team Valencia? Sarah, please. And then Jacob.
So I get the part of replacing sugar, but replacing sugar sometimes comes with some challenges because it's also about texture, color, functionality of the whole product. Do you know how this protein performs when you replace it one-on-one with sugar?
Okay, so I think I can answer this question. So our sweet protein tastes just like sugar. It's sweet, a little bit powdery with no weird or bitter aftertaste. So how do we know this? Because it is derived from the DNA of natural sources of sweet protein, which is monolin and brazine. And these are found in certain fruits in nature, and they have been studied for their excellent taste profile. So it is 100% protein, not sugar, but our taste receptors, which is our taste buds in our tongue, will receive it as sweet like sugar. So it will give you the same sweetness without any weird flavors. And also as for how we compare to traditional protein sources, I think that is a very great question because our sweet protein isn't meant to completely replace traditional protein sources like meat or dairy. Instead, it's actually an alternative that changes how we consume protein. Imagine getting your protein not just from your main dishes, but also from your everyday meals and drinks like coffee, desserts, snacks, when you put the sweet proteins in it. So while the sweet protein amount in each serving of sweet protein that might be like smaller compared to traditional protein sources, it will eventually add up when you include it into a variety of foods that we eat throughout the day. So we're not 100% completely replacing traditional proteins, but we're complementing them in a way that's healthier and also more sustainable for the planet.
I would like to also add that sweet protein is also water soluble. It's also heat resistant. So we've researched this data before, so we don't have to worry that it won't solute in like water, or if it will disappear when it gets in contact with heat. It's all we've researched it, and it's all it's gonna be quite, what do you call it?
Stable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I think Jacob wanted to have a question and Craig has unmuted.
Yeah, well, Sarah asked a very clever question, and then I got so much information from Vanessa and Vinicia. Sorry for pronouncing that. So I don't have a question. Sorry.
Oh, so Craig, over to you.
No, I don't have really a question either, but I did want to know about monolin, but I'll do that somewhere else. I think that's very interesting. Thank you.
So, okay, so then I can have a question. I can figure out
You
one.
can have the question then.
Yeah. So, precision fermentation, right? You said something about cost efficiency. Precision fermentation isn't really known to be cost efficient these days yet. Where do you foresee that going? What is cost for you? What is a reasonably priced product? Do you know? Because sugar is quite widely available. Blah, blah, blah.
Can we have a very, very short answer as the time is running out?
Oh, I think I can answer that question. So our sweet protein is actually cost effective because it's much sweeter than sugar because, as I said, is like 3,000 times sweeter than sugar. So that means while per unit it might be slightly higher than sugar, but you only need like a tiny fraction of it to achieve the same level of sweetness. And for that, you can reduce the amount of purchase you need to buy the sweet protein, and it's more cost effective overall than sugar. So despite its slightly higher initial price.
Thank you very much, Team Valencia. Thank you, jurors. And with that, believe it or not, all the good things come to an end. So our pitching session of today has wrapped up with Team Valencia being the 7th team to present their solutions to the global food problems. And wow, at least I have really many wow moments from hearing from these 7 teams. Thank you so much for your preparation, for your hard work leading up to today. You are the winners. So now we let the jury disappear in the back of a ship for the final huddle to make the final sharp, insighted, and well-spirited decision about who will be the winners. Hopefully, we will see the jury back here in about 10 minutes or so. And it means that we have a very important guest to welcome here on the deck of the ship while we're waiting for the jurors to come back. I am very glad to be joined by two of the mentors who have been working with the teams up until now. Gabriela Opas, founder of Four Voices, who I'm sure everybody of you has made acquaintance of while preparing for your pitches. And what great pitches, Gabriela. You and your team have done an amazing work. And I have a question for you. I hear that it's not the first time that you've been taking part in the Moonshot Pirates challenges. So why do you support such initiatives? What is important for you in the work that Moonshot Pirates is doing?
I think there's so many things that we can chat about. You know, today there's a lot of noise out there, and it's very challenging for us to take the time and effort to give all these incredible young voices the power and the space they need, and also a very positive and supporting space to get their voice live. And this is, as I said, the second round that we've had the opportunity to be with them. And honestly, Cormac and I and all of us at Four Voices are completely astounded at the amount of energy and passion and dedication that all of the pirates have done to actually get to this space where you saw them today. And every step of the way, no matter what feedback we provide, they take it and they run with it, and you know what? They improve it tenfold. And it never ceases to amaze us how much that today that we tend to undervalue what our young people have to say, and they're anything but really passionate in the ideas that they have and the ingenuity and the creativity that they bring to the world around us. And today, I think what's also really interesting, especially in this group of pirates, is that they come from such diverse places. And as you can see, each of the pitches were very representative of where they came from. And I think that's so unique and really special to see, because we don't always have the opportunity to see voices so distinct and so powerful from around the world. So it's just such a privilege to be with them and to share space and time to hear their ideas.
Well, that is amazing. And I hope that we will see you here next year as well, because, you know, the work that you're doing in shaping the voices of these next generation change makers is also super important. But with such a, how to say, grim outlook of the world, where we have so many challenges in food, but also society and many things. What do you think about the future after participating in Moonshot Pirates and you know, getting exposed to these amazing young innovators?
You know what? I honestly feel a bit humbled, if I'm honest, to share space with them, because we haven't passed on the best planet and the best situation moving forward. And if there's anyone who can make such inclusive, such diverse, such creative ideas, it's them. And every single time we sit down with a pirate and we hear their ideas, you know what? It's amazing that they haven't given up and said, forget it. Why should I try? Instead, they do the opposite time and time again. They take the baton and they say, all right, you know, what can I do different? What can I do better? How can I use all of these incredible tools that we have at our disposal through the internet, through technology, and use it for a positive means, not a negative means? And they take it and they run with it and they develop it and they change it into things that are awe-inspiring, really. And as you saw, the passion you saw today, the amount of energy and emotion that they brought to their ideas only inspire us to do better. So, you know, it's what wakes us up in the morning to spend time with them and to be with them, because really they make the rest of us better people, and they push us to be more accountable and to adapt to a world that we can make better if we work as a team and we work across the planet as one. So really, hats off to them.
Well, also thank you for giving me hope, and congratulations on amazing results in preparing the pirates, not only for the pitch today, but for the rest of their lives, which I'm sure that the value that they got will be immense. Thank you, Gabriela. Now we're over to Craig, who is a senior innovation consultant at Science Park Graz. Craig, so nice to meet you. I've been hearing that it's really not the first time you've been mentoring pirates, and it's been many times that you've taken part here. How do you like it? What message is the most kind of heard for you from these pirates? What is inspiring you about the pirates?
Well, thank you. And it's always a delight to be back here and a great privilege to have this opportunity to listen to some great pitches. And I just want to quickly say that some really, really fantastic pitches. I work with, let's say, more senior high-tech companies, and I help them to craft their narrative, and really well done today. That was really a remarkable effort, and I'm very proud. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm here. I love being involved in this whole process, this whole journey. I think that once you've gone through life and you've experienced your own journey, it's great to have the opportunity to reach out and to share some of that experiences, because that's how we progress in society. We've been doing it pretty much for the last 200,000 years, sharing stories, passing on knowledge and wisdom. And this is a big part of being a mentor, I think, and being part of this journey is really the opportunity to share those experiences and hopefully give some young individuals the opportunity to leapfrog maybe some of my early lessons in life.
Yeah. And we're living at such a brilliant time where we're actually able, thanks to technology, to bring the young innovators on board and give them platforms to listen to them and contribute, right? But how you touched upon working with adults, how is different working with young innovators from working with adults in your own experience?
It's quite interesting, because I think that in general, what we see from wherever we come from around the world, we're kind of pre-programmed with an understanding of how we should think and look at possibilities, whether or not that's from the lessons we get from our family and our communities to our societies. And what I find is that with young people and working with them closely, you actually find that they're very open to really questioning the status quo, to questioning those established norms, and actually rethinking how we should be thinking. That's not always easy, when somebody's lived a bit of life and maybe gone through some of their challenges and collected some scars along the way. But working with young people, you really get to see this flexibility, this openness to ideas and possibilities. And I was quickly doing a little bit of research before joining this call. Socrates, the Greek philosopher, he mentored Plato, and he basically really brought in this whole Socratic process, which encouraged people to question the status quo. And I think that that's something that we should be mindful of, and just look at things and try to open up our minds to all the possibilities.
Is that also your one takeaway from the sessions with pirates?
I just the one thing I would always say to everybody is, if you can dream it, the chances are you can at least get there. So really think big, imagine it, and you will walk, I'm pretty sure, in that direction, and you'll be very successful in your careers and in whatever you do, really.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Craig. There are some wisdom words. I'm also super excited to be joined by another change maker, Sean King, the chief navigator of the Moonshot Pirates rocket itself. Sean, you've also been through the challenges quite a few times, I believe, by now. How did you see the pitches today, and what impressed you the most?
Thanks, Odetta. Well, I mean, first of all, it was a fantastic effort by all of the pirates. I do think that this challenge stretched the pirates because of the uniqueness of the ask, which, in my opinion, listening to the pitches tonight really did bring out the best in our pirates. So I was quite apprehensive when the challenge was put out as to the complexity of the challenge and the ask. But I am so impressed in how the community just raised to the challenge and produced some fantastic pitches. I mean, it's overwhelming. I wouldn't want to be a jury member trying to choose a finalist or a winner for tonight.
Definitely, I feel you. Same here. But what is next for the pirates? What can they do with their ideas now and to take it forward?
Yeah. So this is something that's quite close to our heart, and I suppose it's as Craig said, you know, we really want to be able to pass on our experiences to the younger generation as they embark on their entrepreneurial journey. And similarly, you know, it was said, I think Gabriella said it, that we haven't passed on the best world to the next generation. And really what we have started to really focus on at Moonshot Pirates is to take those pirates that are really interested in designing whether it's a product, an initiative, a business, and helping them to take that to market. So last year we worked on a concept with a small group of pirates called Launchpad, where we started to work with them on identifying from ideation stage all the way through to raising capital to deploying their business or idea into the marketplace. And so we really find that there is an opportunity for those that are hungry enough to be able to take those ideas and put them into the market. So that's what we're focusing on a little bit. It's not obviously the core of Moonshot Pirates, but where there are pirates that have a desire to be an entrepreneur, to launch their business, maybe they're at a stage where, you know, they're in college, they're thinking about, do I go and get a job or do I start my own thing? You know, we really want to encourage them if they want to start their own venture to work with us, and we'll help them. And you know, we've got brilliant mentors like Craig and the rest of the mentors, nearly 400 mentors globally. Many of them are entrepreneurs. Many of them have been through this cycle, have learned a hell of a lot of lessons, and it's a resource that we want to be able to offer those that are serious about building impact businesses.
And are you doing that in collaboration with these challenges, or is Launchpad something separate and the entrepreneurs can join separately? Can you tell us more a little bit about that?
Yeah, correct. So it is separate to the challenges. Obviously, we are identifying potential entrepreneurs during the challenge. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to see who can perhaps take their idea to the next level. But really, it's up to the community to reach out and join anytime. And we run these Launchpad sessions probably every couple of months. It's generally a 6 to 8 week commitment. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So, you know, we did find that some of the entrepreneurs love the idea, but when it comes down to the grind and, you know, the hours that they need to put in, not all of them can find the time or have that sort of staying power. And that's also okay. I suppose what we really want to do is expose the pirates to the opportunity, and some of them are going to grab it and you know, make a career or make a life of it, and others are going to realize, well, that's not for them.
Absolutely, like entrepreneurship journey is definitely not for everyone. I saw a funny video on LinkedIn the other day where it's like a guy, to say like a Google employee, takes off his shoes and wants to step over the puddle, but then he makes a step. He kind of like, you know, dives deep under like the water, because being an entrepreneur is definitely not an easy feat. And what Moonshot Pirates does is absolutely incredible, to give that taste of it, to help very early on to understand if that's something the person chooses for themselves. But so do you want to share a bit more about how to join the Launchpad? Where can people find information? Is it something that they can consult with you up front and to kind of have the questions answered? Can you share a bit more on that?
But all of those things are data, so they can find the information on the Mutual Pirates website. And generally, we have a consultation before we let them join Launchpad as to, what is their idea, what is their intention. And we do, I suppose, grill the pirates a little bit just to make sure that they're ready for the journey. As I can't remember who said it, maybe Andreessen said it, that, entrepreneurship is like getting used to enjoying a bloody nose every single day or something like that. We generally test the resilience and the commitment of the pirates, and also just look into what they want to get out of the experience. This is about an experience. It's not a test. It's not it's an opportunity. It's an experience opportunity for them. And so yes, people can get hold of us, apply on the website. They'll get into a waiting list, and we'll be contacting them, and then shortlist and then join Launchpad.
Any specific, advices or tips or just wishes that you want to give the current teams of this challenge for the next steps, for thinking about taking this further?
Yeah, so I mean, I would really, all of the pitches tonight are absolutely ready, in my opinion, to be able to join Launchpad and to explore their products and solutions further. I think they would all be brilliant. It was just so remarkable to hear, about the products and the solutions they want to design. So, but my encouragement would be, find the problem that you are passionate about solving, and talk to us about it. We know that passion is the one thing that entrepreneurs need in order to sustain their build journey and their launch journey and the first 2 to 3 to 5 years. And so, before it's not about the idea. It's for us. It's more about what is the problem that you are absolutely passionate about solving, and let us help you unpack that, ideate that, and 9 out of 10 times, the idea that you think when you start Launchpad is probably not the idea that you end up building and launching by the end of it. And so, I just encourage even the pirates that pitched tonight. I think some of the solutions are lovely, but let's get back to first principles, understand the real problem that you're trying to solve, and you may find that your solution changes over time. And so, if they're keen to explore that with us, we would love to have them on a Launchpad program. Odetta, I don't know, maybe some of the pirates have some experiences they already want to share from tonight. I'm not sure. But happy to answer more questions.
Absolutely. Just one quick question, because of course, the motivation and passion is something that kind of helps to push through all the hurdles in the entrepreneurial journey. But how important is the team for Moonshot Pirates? Then you're setting up the teams to solve the challenges. Maybe a quick one. And then I would love to invite a couple teams on stage to share their experience of what they found valuable in being part of the Moonshot Pirates.
Yeah, so maybe to answer that, I mean, solo entrepreneurs are absolutely welcome, but what we do find is through the Launchpad experiences that, those people that have a good team around them, they are able to sustain and build at a faster pace. They're more balanced. They have, I suppose, a greater experience because they're working on this together over the period of time.
Absolutely. And the fact that jury is taking way longer than expected of the 10 minutes means that, we are having some virtual fist fights over voting and deciding who will be the winners. And this is a great opportunity for us to invite some of the winners on stage to share their experience. What did you find absolutely incredible about being part of this journey? And I saw on my screen Team Alvea. Would somebody from the team like to share really quickly about your experience and what you found as the most interesting part of being on the Moonshot Pirates journey? Do we have somebody who can share a bit of the experience? No? In that case, I will gladly invite Nathan from In the Works. Nathan, do you want to share a bit about your experience being part of the Moonshot Pirates?
Hi, I think I've spoken enough. I'd like to pass it over to my teammate Didier. Yeah, I'd like to give her a chance to say something.
Hello, I'm Didier, and what I'd like to share about my experience is that well, as a team, we are all Singaporeans, and also we are all from design, which is like a background that I think is like very opportunistic, and we're really trying to like explore as much things as possible. And I think something that I gain a lot is that regardless of whatever aspect you study, it doesn't like hinder whatever you try to pursue. And I think overall, like meeting up, finding time from our schoolwork and assignments to meet up and do this project, it taught me a lot of life lessons and also a lot of personal growth throughout this entire process. So I'm like very grateful to everyone and also having the opportunity to come here. Thank you.
Absolutely. NextGen Nutrition, would you like to share a bit of your experience?
Elizabeth, do you want to share your experience or should I? Okay, I guess I'll go ahead. So it was a long journey, although it has been like only a couple of months. It was hard at first because we didn't know how to communicate with each other, so we had to find ways to meet up either on Zoom or on social media platforms and so on. And I think that what it taught me is that we need to gain more resilience in order to achieve what we want to do. And we also need to be open-minded and accept new ideas. And it was amazing, honestly. Thank you for connecting me with so many amazing people.
Absolutely, and that's something that will stay with you for life. Team Sustenance, it was a long time since we haven't heard from you as you pitched one of the first ones. Would you like to share your experience, how the program went for you?
Yeah, sure. If Janvi and Sherry don't mind, I'd like to go. We actually are an international team, so we've never met in real life. We worked online, but we've been together doing challenges along the way, and I feel like we really work well together. And as Sean said, like I feel like we are the dream team, but that's also just me saying. It's really been an experience because we started with cows and seaweed, and then we jumped to alternative proteins made from air. And I feel like as Sean said, like ideas change over time when you work on a project, and especially with these lovely people that are so smart. I am so incredibly like honored to be able to work with them. Whatever the result is, like I thoroughly enjoyed the process.
Sounds super great. I think also for the team to get the feedback. What about Valencia? Would you like to share your experience?
So I think for us, it's really just a great, like a groundbreaking experience because we get to really think about the problems that exist right now and how we should find real solutions for it. And also, all of us sisters are very passionate about entrepreneurship. So I think it's a very great start for us. And I definitely learned a lot from this program about how to pitch and how to find solutions for problems.
Oh, you're also sisters.
Yeah, we're all sisters in Indonesia. So yeah.
Yeah, that is far away from teams, coming together from different continents in some cases to having a team of sisters. Team Kula, what about you guys? What did you find special about participating at Moonshot Pirates?
Sure thing. I think the one thing I can say I really liked is the fact that we got to challenge our ideas and learn how to work as a team. I think to learn how to actually embrace people's, strengths and weaknesses, and I think it challenges you to be open-minded. I think that's one thing I appreciate about participating in Moonshot. You don't just look at problems face value, but you actually look beneath that and actually critically analyze what's the cultural context of what you're actually thinking about. More than that, ask yourself, is it feasible? More than that, ask yourself, how exactly will this work and actually support people? I think it draws us back to understand that we are humans and what we are doing should actually be focused on benefiting other people. So I think it was very fun and I think very engaging. And I think I love my team. And more than that, I love the fact that each of them are willing to step out of their comfort zone to try their best.
Such a great summary. And these are the skills and insights that you gain at such an early age, which will definitely set you apart for so many peers ahead of the game. Then you're entering the world with either your own solutions or joining companies to do great things. I think maybe we have time for NutriNova Nexus just before the jury comes back. What was your insights?
All right, good evening. There were a lot of things we learned, including one issue we usually had was time difference. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, it was time difference. Imagine setting up a meeting by 11 and then some people are waking up by 1 a.m. in the morning. And we're also going out that same morning. It was one issue that we had to accommodate with each other. And also we learned the value of teamwork and thorough research. If you check our idea canvas, we actually started with soybean, and then we found out that cowpea was better, and then we also moved on to bambra. So all those things were were things we had to surmount to get into the finals. And then we also challenged to weigh the pros and cons of each product, and eventually pick one, which was bambra. And also, finally, one other thing we had to deal with was reaching out to other companies. That was how we were able to get Agrodem, trying to make this stuff a reality. Thank you.
The reality check, very important. And that's why we also had the jurors today to give you a reality check of when you go out there in the idea that you've been working on so diligently, there will always be somebody challenging you and trying to understand what you do in a better way. And I heard that finally we have the jurors back with us here on stage. So that's great news. And I'm pretty sure that everybody is very eager to find out about the overall winner. Although, of course, as we just figured out, everybody is already a winner here, without a doubt. So it's just also fair to say a huge thank you to all the teams, to the Moonshot Pirates crew, to the mentors, the judges, and the partners. And we have a bunch of really, really great partners. Givaudan, the main partner, is the leader in flavors, fragrances, and active ingredients. And with their innovation and expertise, Givaudan is helping to reimagine sustainable food solutions across the globe. So thank you, Givaudan. Thank you, Sarah, for your vision and commitment to shaping a better future. Next, we raise our cups of cafe latte with non-dairy milk to Oatly. This is a Swedish pioneer in the oat-based dairy alternatives that is not only delicious, but it's also focused on reducing the CO2 emissions, along with top-notch branding and innovation and ideas how to enter markets, which we already saw also mentioned in the team's pitches today. So, Jakob, Oatly, thank you for helping us rethink what's possible. Another special thanks goes to the Liechtenstein Group, that is as a global force in food and agriculture and forestry and renewable energy. LG brings invaluable insights and supports the mission of the future of the food. We're grateful to have you aboard this challenge and aboard the ship, helping the pirates. Well, finally, but obviously not least, we have two amazing supporters. We couldn't have done this without the amazing work of Gabriela and her team at Four Voices for guiding the public speaking skills of the Moonshot Pirates. As I mentioned, these skills are invaluable not only for this challenge, but also for the years to come. So please stick to them. We also have Conference on Wheels with Nikki, who is taking the winner team to Silicon Valley for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure to experience the life of the digital innovation capital of the world. That will definitely be a groundbreaking experience for one team. Sarah, would you mind joining me on stage before we get into the announcements of the winners?
Yeah.
It's the first time that you and Givaudan have participated in Moonshot with Moonshot Pirates and such an amazing future of food challenge. What do you think about the pitches today?
Honestly, I was extremely impressed by the thinking, the quality of the outcome, but most importantly for me, it's been the energy from the teams. Honestly, every idea was well thought, carried out with a lot of details. The vision was fantastic, and the passion, it really brought it to life. So I need to congratulate all of you for the amazing work, for the fantastic preparation, and for the splendid ideas that you had. I'm very, very happy to see this generation act towards this sustainable food future and the industry. And I'm really looking forward to see how we can work together and how we can bring these ideas to life, because they are full of potential. So
Yeah,
very, very impressed.
We heard a couple ideas where the flavors need to be enhanced of the new nutrient, right?
Yes.
But you know, despite this, why is it important for Givaudan to collaborate with young change makers and innovators?
So it's been mentioned before in this call or in this event, right, that creating more sustainable food choices and products is not something Givaudan can do alone. We have great ecosystem of partners, incubators, startups, food innovators to really co-create this future of food experiences, right? So what we have seen today is that the young generation really have extremely relevant out-of-the-box ideas that can really drive a strong transformation. So for us, the younger generations are the ones driving this change. So for us, it makes total sense to partner with them to be part of this process. So working with them has been deeply inspiring, and it takes us one step closer to innovation. So it's very important for us to be closer to the young disruptors of the future.
Yes, and I think that is kind of an encouragement for the teams today, together with Moonshot Pirates Launchpad and Givaudan, to potentially take those ideas forward. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing that perspective from Givaudan and your own personal insights. Would you like to represent the jury to describe a little bit about the process, or do we have another juror who would like to share a bit of insight what happened in the backstage of the ship while we were waiting? Craig?
Yes, I am lucky enough to be the one to go out front and say the difficult bit about being a member of a jury, right? It's not easy when you see great things, when you see folks that are making a great statement for the planet versus some of the leadership that we have today. We were arguing back and forth about how it is hard to decide, right? And we came down to a close couple of options. Now, when you go through these options, we had to really nail down as to what really makes a difference for these four criteria. And when we look at the global impact, we need to see that what you're doing and what you need to do has to start immediately, and it has to hit hard, right? It really has to have a global impact. And we know how a lot of the food business works. We did discuss about this, that it has to have a financial, feasible runway. It has to move very quickly. So we also did discuss about tastes, and this was a very big issue, and then about the upcycling or the use of food. Where is it actually coming from originally? So this is also a big point of impact. And then one thing I think we have to always keep in mind is making people smile. So where is this going to actually do, where are these ideas going to make the biggest impact in making people smile? Because that, like Nikki said, might be the way that we get to the hearts, get to the minds and hearts through the stomachs, but with something that is making them smile. So we did go back and forth. I don't want to announce the winner because I don't know that it's really my role, but I want you to all to know that we had to really dig down and go overtime, and I'm going to leave it at that. There's not an idea here that I would not like to see happen soon.
So it is definitely one of the jurors' honor to announce the winner, and I let jury quickly to make the eye contact to make the decision who will that be, while everyone here, let's make a drum roll. Let's take your camera off and do a drum roll while jury comes on stage and makes a final decision heard about the winner. Let's do that. If the sound is not possible, can we clap our hands on the virtual desk while we're waiting? Sarah, I see that you unmuted. Is that you?
Yes, that would be me. So, to all the participants of the challenge, you should be very proud of what you have achieved. However, I know Moonshot Pirates cannot take everybody to Silicon Valley. So we need to choose a team. And believe me, as Craig said, it's been extremely difficult. But we believe that there was one team that delivered a very impactful, radical, feasible idea, and that has emotionally connected with us. So the winner for this year Future the Food Challenge is...
Drum roll, drum roll.
Drum roll. Valencia.
Woo! I'm allowed to applaud in audible way. Valencia, please.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Come on stage, and I see so much emotions and so much excitement. Valencia, do you want to share a little bit about how you're feeling now? What are the emotion overload on your side? Please.
Honestly, I'm super speechless because I've seen the ideas that other teams are presenting, and it's actually really cool. And just to be able to present here is like really a great honor. So I just want to say congrats to everyone because everyone is doing amazing, really. Yeah, I also want to share a little bit of my personal thought. I'm still really shocked about this. And honestly, it's just like what Gabriela has said earlier, it's a really humbling experience to be here. Seeing a lot of people with a lot of great ideas. It's really amazing to be like in this room with all of these people. And honestly, it's not something that you learn every day about proteins. It's not something that you learn in school, but with this event, we get to learn a lot about other different things that we don't normally discover. We become curious of other things, and so it's a really amazing experience and something that I will definitely remember for the rest of my life. So thank you so much for the juries, and thank you so much everyone for this really amazing opportunity.
Thank you so much for being there, making that choice to participate and to do something. And that thanks and congratulations goes to Team Valencia, but also to all the teams equally here tonight. And my final wow is what an incredible journey that this has been. We could see the energy, the motivation, and the hard work that has been done to get to here. And tonight we celebrate bold ideas, daring spirits, and shared mission to change and shape the future of food. And while winning is sweet and competitions drives our progress, all the teams today are the winners and the true Moonshot Pirates. And I want to stress enough that by working together, coming together, meeting their peers, mentors, judges, partners from all corners of the world, going through all the pitching preparation, understanding the process of how to actually create a business idea and how to take it forward is an immense impact, hopefully, on the future ideas and future work that you are all doing. And that's why you are all winners. So remember, Pirates, the true magic of tonight isn't in just winning. It's in the courage to dream big and resilience to create change. Every one of you has that potential to make waves that ripple far beyond your own, family, country, even continent. So keep dreaming, keep building, keep being fearless innovators, because our world really needs you, especially today. This is just the beginning of your Moonshot journey, and it continues as the world is waiting. Thank you again, Pirates, and everybody, all the crew, everyone involved, your passion, creativity, and vision. And let's go out and shape the better future together, not only in food, but across the board. Bon voyage, and never stop dreaming.